What Hugo wants you to know is that this studio of mine is directly below my house where I live. We've been in this house for over 20 years, and when we got it, it was in rough shape. I've been working on it ever since. This week, I have at least 2 projects to button up here. They should be fairly straightforward, but you never know. Assuming they proceed without too much drama. Watch your backside, Hugo. I will also take some time to give a tour of all the things I've built up here, including a burning typewriter. Our grand tour begins with this cabinet. I found this RCA Victor Deluxe on the street well over 20 years ago. And at the time we had almost no furniture, and I was building a lot of the things we were using in our apartment. It's also something I need to fix, which is why we're looking at it first. It is a, now, cabinet that opens and closes. Its use, fairly obvious. Blue velvet backing and a smoked glass base that is lit from below with fluorescents. Those fluorescents turned on via that switch. Not working. That switch still triggers the light in this plane and the light above this print. So let's open this up and see about getting the fluorescents running again. Oh, careful plane. There's the power that goes into the wall and travels up to that light for the print. You can play all your records through this set. These graphics are peak. It really has been over 20 years, so of course I can't remember how I pieced this together. The fluorescents are behind this, and oddly, it looks like I never took this panel off. That would seem like the obvious way to access it. Maybe just through this, I guess that was it. All right, there's 2 fluorescent bulbs. It might be kind of hard to get out of this hole, but I guess that's the routine. All right, I got one of the fluorescent units completely free, but it will not come out of this hole. How did I get it in there? Bottom? No. Oh, it might be a matter of removing the glass from the top. Is that to remove these panels as well? I can't remove the glass from here. It's captured under the wooden frame. This panel may have come off. If it did, I have it nailed in. Coming back to where I started, I'm just going to remove this panel and hope there wasn't a really good reason why I didn't do it 20 years ago. Yeah, these bulbs aren't designed to be replaced. You just replace the whole unit. All right. We're headed to the hardware store to hunt for lights. While we're gone, tour some other builds in the house. All right, because of my slightly unreasonable goal of occupying spaces with no branding or intrusive technology, I buried this digital player inside this book and wired it down to the stereo. That worked out so well that I hid the remote that opens the curtains inside my old London A to Z. 5 speakers around the room are buried in the walls. Built the center speaker right into the mantelpiece. And the monitor itself hides behind these paintings. This panel that fills the gaps is held in by magnets and pops out. Along the same lines, the freezer, microwave, and dishwasher lurk behind these generic panels. And the fridge, we will get to the fridge. It's a project for the day. Okay, success, same thing as before, but LED strips. I installed our new fridge, I cleverly dragged it across the dining room floor, creating this really prominent gouge. And I decided at the time my options were to either repair the gouge somehow or make it a thing and label it. The new fridge is installed January 2017. We had for a long time this beautiful bed frame, but it was small. We wanted a bigger bed, so I cut it in half, with apologies to antique connoisseurs. I painted this banana leaf mural in this teeny center room in the house, an idea and image admittedly stolen from an artist who did it for Lenny Kravitz, and apologies I don't have his name handy. This, ladies and gentlemen, is an illustration by the great John Bell, designer, art director for film, Back to the Future, Jurassic Park. Look him up. And this fabulous fella named Mr. Saturday Night is prominently lit from below, so it only seemed reasonable. Okay, the refrigerator. This is a whole thing. For several years, this old 1952 Philco was intact and being used. And this is a fridge of all fridges. It opened both ways. You pulled the handle this way, it opened this way, it opened this way. But there's a reason sometimes why we use modern appliances. It was hard to deal with, defrosting the freezer, etc. So I reworked it in a way I will reveal in a bit, but I never finished it. There's a piece of this panel that goes down on the bottom. It needs modifying, it needs to be installed. Let's finish this 15-year-old project. Many moons ago, I epoxied wooden backing into this so that it could screw on to the panel below the fridge door. Thought I was done. It's too thick and it pinches when you open the fridge door. So I need to cut off a ½ inch of material all the way around this. And the reasonable way to do that would be with an angle grinder. I don't have one here in San Francisco. I'm going to do this with a Dremel, which will be a horrible job. Go see some more things in the house while I do it. And now a quick look at everything I've built up here that has already been documented on the channel. Quick, because more can be learned about these things by digging into the back catalog, including the cocktail train, and this isn't even done. 2 more films on this coming up. The Brillo box bedstands, AG Subaraya wallpaper, hand-screened Royal Tenenbaums wallpaper, concrete sculpture pedestal, a power switch for that monitor we were looking at earlier, and the good old remote work station. I think that's everything. So yeah, I sliced off ½ inch, filed down the resulting edge so it's not a knife blade, epoxied some wooden blocks in there. There we go. Just like that. There we go. Very nice. So when this old fridge was still an old fridge, it lived in this box and there was functioning cabinets above it. When the time came to replace it, I sliced off the front of the old fridge, mounted it on this panel, but the new fridge is so tall. So I made photographs of shelves, mounted the photographs behind the glass, way up there. That's still a functioning shelf. But at the end of the day, the effect of this little system is that. And the addition of the, let's call it a kick plate, looks so great. I'm sorry I didn't finish this little project 10 years ago. Done. Some history on this house and my involvement with it. The original structure on this lot burned in the San Francisco fire of 1905. This one was built in 1915 when we took it over with friends who we still share the structure with. To call it a dump might be a little strong. It was a dump. And I was working full-time at Industrial Light and Magic at the time. So the renovation at this place dragged on over 13 years. I never worked with a contractor. I acted as contractor, and I had the great benefit of working with friends of mine from the ILM model shop. And I designed everything that needed designing. And my design work had more to do with film set design than architecture. And I benefited from my working relationship with these guys in that they could translate my designs into a real-world application. Whenever possible, original material was preserved, like these beautiful double-hung windows made from old-growth California redwood, the flooring we tore up but preserved and put back down. Whatever cabinetry was in place, we restored and preserved. And hopefully it's hard to tell because they look period appropriate, but a lot of additional cabinetry was done. I really enjoyed the research involved in finding appropriate cabinetry designs and forms to manipulate into this space. And on top of the fun stuff, all the electrical, all the plumbing, seismic, there was a lot. We are lucky to have it, and I was lucky to be able to do the work on it in the way that we did. And there must be some more things that I've done to it over the years worth sharing. Yeah, my full year reusable calendar, there's a film about this. I knew I'd forget something. So these are fun. Scored these over 30 years ago before I even knew what they were, other than that they're from a carousel. But these are from, I learned from a channel viewer, one of the 3 Ilion Supremes, which are considered the greatest carousels ever made, hand sculpted by an Italian family that made these carousels. And when I got them, both of them had this fairly garish paint job that had been done by Bob, the carousel maintenance guy, for 50 years. I stripped the paint off of her, and I can tell you when I got down to the base layer of paint, the original paint was extremely elegant. Gold leaf on the roses, really nice colors. A project I want to tackle is to strip the paint off this one, but document the original pigments and color scheme and then recreate the original paint. I like being able to see the sculpted wood on her. Not something that was built, but a fun design story. Before we'd done anything in this house, we'd gotten our hands on this glorious beast, and the entire kitchen was designed around it. It's 1952 in this room. I stole this entire tile design from the bathrooms at the San Francisco Opera House. Hey, I've found yet another thing that has a film telling its story on the channel. The portrait wall. Random grand finale. My G.I. Joe Adventure Team certificate of membership. The bowling scorecard when I inexplicably bowled a 245. Ike the dog. Fake ID. These guys, it's a long story, but I was fired up to find this vintage display cabinet that fit them so nicely. That is more than enough stuff worship for 1 week. Hugo thinks we should be out sniffing trees. Don't you, bud? I didn't forget you, chalkboard of fame.